So here we go. Dexerto's 100 best video games of all time. Now this was published August 19th, so I'm like a week late, but I haven't seen this yet. This is a list that they just kind of put together for seemingly no reason. I don't think that this was for like the anniversary of anything or any special occasion. They just kind of were like, hey, you know what would be cool to make an awful list. I haven't seen it, so I don't know how awful it is, but I know it is awful, because how could it not be? So right away, I'm just wondering, how do you even pick the 100 best video games of all time across so many different genres? I feel like at least one genre is gonna get shafted. I have a feeling it won't be first-person shooters or big AAA open-world action-adventure games. It's probably gonna be like JRPGs are gonna get shafted, somehow, or like, point-and-click adventure games probably aren't gonna have any presence on this list at all. There's gonna be no Grim Fandango, no King's Quest 6, nothing like that. You know, Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. They're probably not gonna make top 100. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of AAA games just based on this image right here. So we've got Ellie from The Last of Us, which of course she was going to be present. Capturing my cursor. There we go. Yeah, Ellie. We got Kratos from God of War. We've got Baldur's Gate 3 representation here. Master Chief, Melania from Elden Ring, Cloud from FF7 Remake, interestingly enough. Link from Breath of the Wild, Sonic the Hedgehog, which they've cut off. Oh, I see. They made like a little glitchy shape. And then this, I believe, is female Commander Shepard from Mass Effect 3. Is that right? I haven't played Mass Effect 3, but yeah, she's there. So this is a lot of really modern AAA stuff right here. And by the way, if you guys want to say hi, YouTube, here in a Twitch stream chat, now's your time. I'm giving you to the count of 20 to do so. But I would like to make some predictions before we begin, because I have some thoughts. I want to make it interesting. I don't want to just read the list. I want to make some predictions about what they're going to get right and what they're going to get wrong. All right, that's enough out of you guys. They hate you, by the way. The YouTube audience, they hate you guys. I'm sorry. I don't hate you. I'm just telling you what they think. Anyway, all right. So I think it's gonna be a lot of AAA games. I'm going to guess that my favorite game of all time, Chrono Trigger, is gonna be way lower than it should be. I'm gonna guess that they're gonna put Chrono Trigger in like top 50. Even though it should be like top 20. It's going to be like top 50. They won't leave it off the list, but they'll put it in there. I think in terms of Super Nintendo games, we're going to get 5 Super Nintendo games out of the top 100. I think we should have more, but we're probably going to get 5 Super Nintendo games. And I think pre-Super Nintendo, like NES and earlier, we're probably gonna get like 3, I would say. Like and maybe like the original Super Mario Bros. I can't even think of what NES games you would put on a top 100 games list like this, with a lot of modern AAA games on it. I don't know, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt. Maybe they'll combine them together into one entry. You know, I don't know. But I imagine we're going to get 3 or less of, you know, Atari and all those like early consoles. So yeah, 5 Super Nintendo games. What else? I'm going to say no visual novels. I'm going to say no point and click adventure games. No visual novels and no point and click adventure games, which is going to be a travesty. If they have even one point and click adventure game on this list, I will be shocked. But pleasantly so. Which is crazy, because in the 90s, well, in the early 90s, point-and-click adventure games were the height, the pinnacle of gaming. Literally, like, the best-selling video games. But whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, okay? And I'm going to be working backwards from 100 to 1. Let's go. There's a Mr. Beast tweet. Gaming has come a long way since the days of computer space and Pong. In fact, it's gone from a niche hobby to a multi-billion-dollar industry. And each year, developers across the world release exciting and new games that players can't wait to get their hands on. This, of course, raises one big and important question. With so many games coming out each year, which are the best? Well, to answer such a question, you'll need to have an encyclopedic knowledge of games. Luckily, our talented team has exactly that. Yes, that's right. As it's Gamescom week. Okay, my mistake. They did this for Gamescom week. I didn't realize that. It was for an occasion. The Dexerto gaming team has come together like a less rubbish version of the Justice League to bring you a definitive list of the best video games of all time. We've got everything from thrilling superhero games and MMOs to shooters and RPGs. Basically, we left no stone unturned while writing this list. And yes, there may have been a few arguments. I'm sorry, Pokemon Crystal fans, but we got there in the end. So enjoy Dexerto's list of the 100 best games of all time. Okay, first of all, I will go on record as saying Pokemon Crystal is the best Pokemon game of all time. Gold, Silver, Crystal is the best generation, Gen 2. And Crystal is the definitive Gold, Silver, Crystal experience. I love playing Gold and Silver individually, but Crystal is like the definitive GSC experience. And so if they're not going to have Crystal on the list, then I'm going to assume that there's no Pokemon representation at all, which is crazy to me. If they put any Pokemon game on this list other than Pokemon Crystal, like if Crystal's not on there and they put any other Pokemon game on, that automatically is like incredible in a bad way to me. Now I can see number 100 and I'm trying not to look at it. I did see the word WWE though, so I'm already upset. Hang on one second. I gotta update. Okay, here we go. WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Okay, this is honestly a very strange choice for number 100. I never played this game. I'm not a wrestling guy, though. So I'm not really... This isn't really my bag. But the fact that this is number 100, I am just kind of in awe of that. Because I know when we get further down the list, I'm going to be like, they put WWE SmackDown above X, above Y. Above Pokemon Crystal, even. Pokemon Crystal didn't make the list, but WWE SmackDown did. And this is one of the problems with making a best games of all time list, because it's like you're trying to appeal to everyone. And I'm going to read this and be like, WWE SmackDown, you got to be kidding me. But wrestling fans might be like, yes, that game is great. I love that game. It made the list. Hell yeah. That is the best WWE game. So, I don't think that, to be honest, I don't think that any top 100 games list would work. 99, Doom 2016. Okay, you know, I like 2016 Doom. 2016 Doom is very good. Very good game. You know what? Top 100 of all time? I can see it. I would say that I prefer Doom Eternal to Doom, so it'll be interesting to see if that's further up on the list or not. But yeah, this, you know, I can't argue with it. It's a good modern first-person shooter. It feels, you know, it feels really slick to play. Remember when it came out, it was like a really fun reinvention, because we hadn't had a Doom game in a while. I think since Doom 3, I want to say. I will be interested to see if like the original Doom is on here, because somehow I doubt it. If they have Doom on this list, like the 2016 version, but not the original, which was groundbreaking, I think that kind of says everything about the recency bias that we may see. All right. So yeah, no argument there. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now I did hear good things about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I do feel like putting any Assassin's Creed game on the list that's not 2 is a little suspect. I mean, we are talking about the top 100 games of all time. So if you're, I feel like there's only room for maybe one Assassin's Creed game, and I would say 2 would fit the bill. But, you know, maybe 2's further up on the list. But then at that point, you've got 2 Assassin's Creed games on a top 100 list, and I just don't know if that's accurate, you know? Okay, people in chat are saying Black Flag too. I did play a little bit of Black Flag, and you know what? It was pretty fun. I did enjoy Black Flag. I didn't finish it or anything, but I understand that's one of the more popular ones. But then, I mean, let's say you have all 3 of those on this list. One out of every 33 games on the list is an Assassin's Creed game. Anyway, so I guess my opinion on this kind of depends on what comes next, you know? Okay, Knights of the Old Republic. Okay, Knights of the Old Republic, yes. You know, I never played it, but I understand that it's very well respected and considered one of the best Star Wars games of all time and some people's favorite. So, even though I haven't played it and I have no experience with it, I can understand and respect it being on the list. 97, though? I mean, again, we'll see what's further up. 96 is Earthbound. Wow. Okay, so we've got our first Super Nintendo game, 1 out of my predicted 5. Earthbound being 96. Wow. Considering it's one of the most unique JRPGs of all time, and by the way, if you've never played Earthbound is the reason why Undertale exists. It's the reason why Lisa the Painful exists. It inspired a lot of games. It's a very influential title. Absolutely. So I totally agree with it being on this list. I feel like it should be higher, but I do, like I said earlier, I am anticipating some JRPG disrespect on the list overall. So that's one reason why I'm like a little surprised to see it, honestly. But I'm glad it's here. I'm just glad it's on the list. That's how I am right now. I'm just glad it's on the list. That's nice. Need for Speed Underground 2. Oh my god, how many racing games are we gonna get? This is like totally outside my wheelhouse. But with that said, I did play Need for Speed Underground 1. I don't think I played 2 though. I think this is during the PS2 era, which there's like a gap in my knowledge about games around there. Where I didn't have a PS2. I had a GameCube. Oops. Made a bad decision there. I bought a GameCube for Resident Evil 4 though, because originally it was a GameCube exclusive and you had to have a GameCube, okay? So I think, you know what? I made the right decision there. They eventually had it on PS2 as well. And PS2 even got, what was it? Separate Ways DLC, which I don't think GameCube got, because I don't remember playing it on the GameCube. But yeah, so I don't really have any input on this, but I guess if there needs to be a Need for Speed game on here, sure. Oh, wow. Okay, Firewatch at 94. Firewatch over Earthbound. Okay. You know what? Okay, first of all, I just want to say our first indie game, okay? So I think that indie games are going to get shafted on this list. Firewatch, though, representing some indie games. I like that. With that said, I do think that there's a lot of indie games that could have been on this list over Firewatch, and we'll have to see if they're further up on the list or not. I am surprised because I liked Firewatch, but I don't consider it a top 100 game of all time. So that's kind of surprising, actually. Very surprising. I'd actually like to replay Firewatch because I played it when it first came out, but it's been 8 years. And I do think that the ending, from what I remember, I don't remember what the ending was, but I do remember feeling kind of not so great about it. So, all right, well, Firewatch, yeesh. Mortal Kombat 2 2019. Again, I'm not much of like a fighting, racing, or sports game fan, just in general. Unless we're talking about like retro fighters. like PS1, SNES era fighters. So I haven't played Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, did I say 2? Sorry, 11. Yeah. Sorry, Mortal Kombat 11. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, sure. Wait, Mortal Kombat 11 is a divisive entry in the franchise. Well, then wait, why are we including divisive entries on a top 100 games of all time list? I was about to be like, well, you know, I'll defer to the fighting game fans about if this was good or not. You're putting a divisive entry in the franchise at number 93? If the Mortal Kombat fans were divided about it, then why is it even here? Can someone explain? Still, MK11 remains an incredibly fun game. So basically, okay. And is this a power trip entry? Because it kind of seems like they're saying, like, a lot of people didn't like Mortal Kombat 11, but I liked it, so it goes on the list. That's a little odd. We're just gonna move right past that. I disagree with this, just based on that. If they're gonna admit that, and they're the ones putting it on there. Okay, Sonic 2, 1992. Okay, we've got our second SNES game actually. Sonic was on the Genesis. SNES era, I guess, is what I mean. I kind of put Sega Genesis and SNES together. Okay, I have played the original Sonic the Hedgehog, I've played Sonic 2, and I've played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I do agree that Sonic 2 is a really strong entry. But I've always preferred Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That's always been my favorite of the original trilogy. But then again, you know, I'm also the Sonic fan that thinks that Sonic CD is a masterpiece, and I love the American soundtrack on that one, so maybe I'm not exactly the best person to weigh in on Sonic. But, you know, okay, you know what? I'm glad that an early 90s Sonic game, or just an early 90s game in general is on here. I will be interested to see if there's any other Sonic games, because you would think that it would just be Sonic 2 if it's number 92. You would think that they would not put other Sonic games above this. Like, you know, Sonic Adventure 2? You think that's going to be on there? Or I don't know. I feel like there should be no Sonic game above this. But all right. Dead Space at 91. Huh. Again, I'll be interested to see what survival horror games are on this list. This is the first survival horror game, right? Or just horror game in general. I don't really like the term survival horror. I think it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, okay, first horror game on the list, Dead Space. You know, I gotta say, like, after playing the Dead Space remake, which I think is peak, by the way, if you didn't check out the Dead Space remake from last year, it's incredible. It's really, really good. But you know, after playing that, I did kind of go back and like, let's see what the original was like. And it's hard to go back to the original after playing the remake, because the remake it's almost a better version of the original. Like, because they pretty much kept it almost exactly the same. They did make some changes, but in terms of like the gameplay, which has always been the strong suit, and the atmosphere and stuff, I mean, it's an improved version. I understand why they didn't want to put like a remake on the list, though. You know, you want to honor the original, and it's basically the same game. So you know what? I think this is fine. 91 is I'll be interested to see what horror games come up next. But yeah, okay. Dead Space, you know, nice. Where's my friend Sinnoh Beats? Phantasy Star Online, number 90. So this is our first MMO. Now I'm not an MMO guy at all. If you've been watching, the Easy Small videos, then you know this. But or if you've been watching me for any amount of time, then you know this. I do wonder, I mean, this is different because it's such an old game, you know, 24 years old. But I did see them mention earlier that they were going to put MMOs on the list, and I just wonder about that. You know? Oh, World of Warcraft is going to be in the top 10, isn't it? You know what this means? If they've got Phantasy Star Online at number 90, they have World of Warcraft in the top 10. They do. And the thing is like, if you're like a WoW enjoyer, you're probably pleased to hear that. But if you're someone like me that's like not into MMOs at all, that's like a travesty. Well, I'll have to see what I think about it. I don't know if it's a travesty. You know what? It hasn't happened yet. So let's not get mad about things that haven't happened yet. Phantasy Star Online, you know, my friend Sinnoh loves this game. It might be his favorite game of all time. I'm not sure. But it's where he got his username from. I think it's a Sinnoh Beat is one of the monsters in the game, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he loves this game. I'm sure he would be, you know, he would be happy to see this. So, you know, who am I to say it doesn't deserve 90? Sure. Animal Crossing Wild World 2005. Now, I'm going to defer to Animal Crossing fans here, but is this better? Is this like the best Animal Crossing entry? As someone who's never played an Animal Crossing game. Is this better than New Leaf? Or is this kind of like a random pick, or is this like a fan favorite? This is the right one? Okay. Wild World goated. Yeah, okay. See, I thought that New Leaf was held in higher regard than Wild World, but I'm not in the community or anything. Good for the time. I do wonder if like they were just like, we need an Animal Crossing game, so they just kind of picked this one? I don't know. Because the one, obviously the Animal Crossing that I've heard the most about is New Horizons, but I think that was kind of a product of the pandemic more than anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, well, I don't really have much else to say about this, but if you guys say it's a good choice, or an okay, acceptable choice at least, then I'll believe you. Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door at 88. Huh. Our first Mario game. And they even say the best Mario RPG, which okay, I haven't played it, to be honest. I haven't played 1,000-Year Door. But best Mario RPG, hold it in. Oh, stuff it down. Maybe the Mega Mario fans will come to this rescue. I'm not sitting here saying it doesn't deserve to be on the top 100 or anything, because I haven't played it. But sure. I mean, if people are, nobody in chat seems to be like, what? That's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that it's fine. Sims 3. Okay, I don't know why I'm finding out that there are a lot of games out there that I haven't played. I always thought Sims 2 was like the fan favorite. Maybe Sims 2 will be higher on the list. Am I wrong about that? Is Sims 3 higher regarded than Sims 2? Sims 2 might be higher. Sims 2 is totally the preferred one. Okay, thank you. I was like, am I an old man? Is 3 higher regarded? Because I know that 4 is like a split opinion on that one. Yeah, so yeah, 2's better, right? Well, we'll see if Sims 2 is higher on the list. But yeah, sure. You know, it's good to see a Sims game on there. If we have 2 Sims games on it, I think that's pushing it a little bit with so many franchises in a top 100 games list, but okay. Diablo 4. Are you serious? Now, I have yet to play Diablo 4, but I have played Diablo 3 and I have played Diablo 2, and just from what I've heard, like 4 is inferior to both of those. And that's why I haven't really checked it out yet. Also, like, it's more Diablo, and I feel like I've played enough Diablo in my life. But, you know, I have some friends that are talking about going through the campaign together. So it might happen at some point for me. Yeah, this is a very strange entry. Diablo 4. That is shocking. Diablo 4 borrows from the most celebrated parts of Diablo 2 and 3 to create a new experience that unites the fan base. I would not describe the Diablo fan base as united around Diablo 4. I'm not sure if there's a sentence that we've read so far that's less accurate than that. I mean, I haven't been reading all of these, but okay. I think this is a miss here. Especially if there's no Diablo 2 on the list. If there's no Diablo 2 on the list and they got 4 as like sole Diablo representation, that's upsetting. Okay. Soul Calibur 2. You know what? As a Soul Calibur 2 enthusiast, I'm surprised to see it here because I always thought that this game, like, I didn't think it was that highly regarded. But I listen, I played Soul Calibur 2 in the arcade, okay? I played it on home console. I played multiple versions of it. I played the Soul Calibur 2 GameCube version with Link. Okay? My favorite characters in Soul Calibur 2, let's see. I liked playing Killick. I liked playing Nightmare. And this is going to surprise nobody, but I liked playing Ivy. So, those are probably my top 3. Yeah, this is cool. This is like back when I still played fighting games. I'm surprised to see it this high, though. At least it's above Mortal Kombat 11. That's pretty neat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I played Ivy for her fighting abilities. Obviously. So. Is it 1 word or 2? I always thought it was 2 words. In the title, it's got it as 1 word. Here, it's got it as 2. But then here, it's got it as 1 word again. So I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Anyway, okay. You know what? I'll say pleasantly surprised. However, I will say also, if Soul Calibur 2 is here, Tekken 2 or 3 needs to be much higher. And Street Fighter 2 had better be like top 20, okay? All right. I'm not much of a fighting game guy anymore, but I did play them for a time, 2002 and prior. Okay, I don't know. I've literally never heard of this game in my entire life. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. What is this? Does anyone know what this is? What is this? What? I'm not talking bad about it. Is it good? I see anime girls. It's a strategy RPG. Okay. You're gonna have You're gonna have 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim at 84, but Earthbound at 96? Because this is an RPG, right? It's a JRPG. Is this top 100 good? Yeah. It's not? Okay. I disagree with Earthbound being 12 full entries below this. But okay. Again, I haven't played it. I'm sure it's good, but is it this good? PUBG 83. Okay. No way. No, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not even a PUBG Hater. That's not true. I am a PUBG hater. I'm not even like saying this based on like, oh fuck, multiplayer first person shooters. They don't deserve to be on the list. But PUBG, I played PUBG when it first came out. I streamed it. Some of you guys may remember. I streamed PUBG. I had PUBG streams for like weeks, actually. I got into the game. First of all, they flubbed the launch because it was very popular, and then they just didn't update the game, and then Fortnite took over. And Fortnite is a better game now, I would say. Forget Fortnite. Forget Forknigty. It was PUBG that set the bar for Battle Royale gameplay. No, it did not. It absolutely did not. I was there. You can't gaslight me like this. I was there in 2017. It did not set the bar. It set the bar for like rough early access gameplay that they didn't update for months and months. Ow. I don't agree with this. I mean, it did popularize Battle Royale, but I disagree with saying it set the bar. Because there's a reason why PUBG was popular at the gate and isn't as popular now. I don't know. I'm not into this. I don't agree with this. The current frenzy over PUBG has subsided. Yeah, I'll say. That's an understatement. I mean, I guess it did put Battle Royale on the map in some ways, in a lot of ways. But I just disagree with it being. I feel like this is kind of revisionist history a little bit. Anyway, all right. Well, whatever. We'll just keep going. Okay, Tomb Raider 1996. You know what? I feel like 82 is maybe a little low for such an influential game as Tomb Raider, a game without which we wouldn't have like the Uncharted series at all. And a lot of other games that are like it, but sure, yeah, the original Tomb Raider, nice, respectful to have it here. I haven't played Tomb Raider recently. Actually, no, I think I tried to, and I was like not in the mood at all for tank controls, and so I turned it off really fast. But okay, you know what? Yeah, no notes on this one, depending on the rest of the list. I would say if anything, this had better be the only Tomb Raider entry on the list. Okay, our first Doom Eternal 81, our first franchise with multiple entries. Doom Eternal 81. So they had, if you remember, they had Doom 2016 at 99. And I remember commenting, I think Doom Eternal is better. I'm surprised to see it here. I don't disagree with this. I do think that having two modern Doom titles in the top 100 is a little strange. Because like 1 out of every 10 games that we've looked at so far has been Doom. But Doom Eternal is a very good game. It's very, very good. I like it more than 2016. I know that that's not like, I think the popular opinion might be 2016 over 2020, but I really like Doom Eternal. I think it's amazing. Isn't that the mobile one? No, what? Okay, first of all, they wouldn't put Doom mobile game on a top 100 games list. I know that they've been taking the piss a little bit, but they're not that bad. No, Doom Eternal was the sequel to Doom 2016. Yeah. They put the mobile one in top 10, obviously. Okay, you know what? It's like, it's a little bit wishy-washy for me, but whatever. I'm not gonna put up a fuss about it. At least it beat PUBG and what was the I've already forgotten. Diablo 4. Okay, let's just forget about that. It beat Diablo 4, so we're happy. Metroid Prime. Okay, we've got a Metroid entry. Now, I will say Metroid Prime being on the list, I'm okay with. However, I do want to see Super Metroid higher than this. because I was kind of hoping that if I was going to see a Metroid game, it would be Super Metroid. But yeah, Metroid Prime is very good. Prime is a, you know, especially since they like, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Prime, they moved the game from like a 2D platformer to a first-person shooter, right? And so, in order to make a transition like that, that was a big risk, right? So, very cool. I like Metroid. I like Metroid games, so yeah. I haven't played Metroid Prime in a very long time, though. But yeah, number 80, I'm honestly kind of surprised at that. Age of Empires 2 at 79. Well, you know, I guess we had to have a real-time strategy game somewhere on the list. And Age of Empires 2, you know, I think when it comes to RTSs, I prefer StarCraft over all of them. But yeah, Age of Empires 2, I don't think that this is like a bad pick for RTSs, frankly. This is kind of a legendary one, the second one at least, right? I mean, hell, I remember playing this on my flip phone. They had Age of Empires 2 for flip phones. So that was how popular the game was and how many times it got ported. So, sure. You know, I was mad earlier to see PUBG at 83, but Fortnite at 78, and I was like, I mean, if they're gonna have a battle royale, you gotta have Fortnite. But now seeing Fortnite at 78, and now I'm mad all over again. I even like Fortnite. I like Fortnite. I've got Fortnite crew, okay? Come on. I rep Fortnite, all right? I'm happy. I'm happy with it. But now I'm like, we got 2 battle royale games on the top 100. I will say, Fortnite haters don't get it because they haven't played it. Like, I can't tell you how many people, me included, that hated on Fortnite until we played it. And they've got 0 build in the game now, so you don't have to do all the building stuff. And it's just like a fun shooter where you can do crazy stuff like get jetpacks and, you know, Kamehameha people, depending on the season, you know, and fly, like, drive around in a little, like, racer ball, like a little gerbil ball and stuff. I mean, there's so many cool things you can do in Fortnite, and they're always adding new stuff. Like, it's become kind of like a weird mover shooter, really, over the years. Like, they're always adding cool locomotion and stuff like that to it. So it's a really innovative game, I think. I think it's actually like a very good game. It's not just for the 11-year-olds anymore. It's like a legitimate, like, fun game. So I don't hate that it's here. I just kind of hate that we've got 2 battle royale games when I know that other genres are going to get shafted. But yeah, I like Fortnite. Okay, we have... Wait, what? Okay, maybe somebody more into Assassin's Creed can explain this to me. Because we already had Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 98. And I remember I commented, we're going to have this, but not 2. We better have 2 later up on the list. But we got Assassin's Creed Brotherhood at 77. Am I wrong? Am I wrong that this is weird? No, I don't deny that it's good. I mean, we all love Ezio, right? We all love Ezio. He's probably the most beloved Assassin's Creed character of all time. I just now here's the thing. Now I'm wondering how many Assassin's Creed games are we gonna get? Because we've got 2 already. And you know that we're gonna get 3. So are we gonna get 4? Because that seems like it's taking the piss. But okay. That just seems very Assassin's Creed heavy to me. Well, yeah, I mean, 2's gotta be top 50. Now, you would think. AC2's gotta be top 50. If Brotherhood's 77 and Odyssey's 98. All right. Spec Ops The Line. Very interesting choice here. I've actually never played Spec Ops The Line, but I've heard that it's an incredibly unique game. I am kind of surprised that a game that's as divisive as this is this high up, though. Because this is a game that you either love or you hate. I know people that are like, this is one of my favorite games of all time. It's amazing. Because there's a twist in it. I know that much. And you either love the twist and it makes the game for you, or you hate the twist and it breaks the game for you. Because I've heard from both people. I've heard people say Spec Ops The Line is a piece of garbage. So I don't know. I've heard from both. That's kind of interesting that it's here though at 76. Huh. Okay. The most provocative entry in the Spec Ops series. I'll be honest, I don't know of any other entries in the Spec Ops series. Okay, well, you know, I haven't played it, so I'll just believe ya. Oh, look at this! An indie entry, Return of the Obra Dinn at 75. Of course, I haven't played this either. Of course not. Kimmy's played this. Kimmy says it's great. I mean, I know other people that have played this too, and they say it's amazing. So, I mean, you know what? I love indie games. The reason I haven't played it yet, I can't really even give you a good reason, except there's just been so much stuff to play. Especially 2018 was like an incredibly busy year for games, and I didn't have the capacity for it when it came out. But yeah, you know what? I'm glad this is our second indie game, because we had Firewatch at 96, right? Or 94 something, and then we had this one, right? So that's cool that we got another. I applaud indie game representation. So Street Fighter 4 at 74. Okay. Wait, whoa, no. It's potentially contentious to put Street Fighter 4 on this list over 2? But I'm sorry, the future is now, and this is the game that dragged the series in the 21st century. You're telling me you're not going to put Street Fighter 2 on the list? What many consider to be like the best fighting game of all time? You're not going to put it on the list? I'm old and irrelevant. My opinions on gaming are old and irrelevant. Or they're outdated. The future's now, old man. Street Fighter 4 is what makes this list, not Street Fighter 2. Am I out of touch? You know what this means? That means they put Mortal Kombat 11 over Street Fighter 2. They put Mortal Kombat 11 over Street Fighter 2. Oh my god, I'm feeling faint. I don't even like fighting games this much. Yeah, it's the children who are wrong. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I can't believe this. That's so disheartening. Okay, let's just. You know what? I don't even dislike Street Fighter 4, but to put it over 2, that means there's gonna be no more. Okay, whatever. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We applaud. We stan a true king / queen. Who put this? Nathan Ellingsworth. Okay. Yeah. We stand. One of the best PlayStation games. Yeah, PlayStation 1 games. Yeah, definitely like a top 10 PS1 game. For some people, this is their favorite Castlevania, and I like it, but I'm always going to say Super Castlevania 4 is my favorite. That's just me. But you know, I liked Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I even liked it when I played the remake, Bloodstained. The note for note remake. No, I that was a joke. That was a joke. But you know, I did even like Bloodstained. So yeah, it's great to see it here, honestly. You know, Castlevania is one of those franchises that I feel like time is kind of passing by because we haven't had a Castlevania game in a long time, right? They like tried it in 3D and then they were just like, well, this isn't really working. I don't know. When's the last time we had a Castlevania game? Was it Lords of Shadow? I haven't been keeping up. I basically like replay 4 every now and then, and I haven't really been keeping up. But it kind of feels like it's not really a relevant franchise anymore, and this is yeah, Symphony of the Night is like kind of the peak of the series, right? Oh yeah, I just mentioned Bloodstained, but that's not like an official Castlevania game. I liked Bloodstained, but you know, it did kind of retread a lot of ground. You know, it was nice playing it, but anyway, okay, yeah, glad to see it, glad to have it. Thank you. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I have played some Fire Emblem games. I think my favorite has been Awakening, but I haven't played Three Houses. I assume it's like more Fire Emblem, which like you've got that tactical RPG gameplay, which is great. And then you've got like the social romance component, which I think from what I understand, Three Houses really emphasized. Is that correct? The social component. I don't know, because I meant to play it, but you know, when you take on a new JRPG, it's like such a big monumental effort. I like to see all the Awakening stands in chat. That makes me happy. Yeah, Awakening was my favorite one, but I never played Three Houses. I'm not gonna say that Three Houses deserves to be below Awakening or anything, because I think that this Three Houses is probably the most popular Fire Emblem game, at least modern. But yeah, I'm glad to see so many Awakening fans. I honestly didn't know if that I'm not really in touch with the Fire Emblem community, so I didn't know if that was like a hot take or not. I tried to get into Birthright and Conquest, and like I liked the idea of it, but I don't know, it didn't really stick with me like Awakening did. I kind of prefer that one. All right. Well, cool. Nice to see a Fire Emblem game on here. Counter-Strike Source 2004. Honestly, yeah, sure. Yeah, Counter-Strike had to be on this list. Come on. Absolutely. I don't really even have anything to say about this. Does anybody have any comments? I mean, Counter-Strike gotta be on the list, right? Yeah. Sea of Thieves at 70. You know, I mean, I think for me, you know, and this is gonna be rich coming straight from like Counter-Strike Source based. Okay, next one. But I just kind of feel like multiplayer games are a little, they're a little complicated. This is why a list like this is so strange, because like you're mixing in like live service games with like Earthbound and stuff, and it's like, how do you even compare? How do you even say Sea of Thieves at 70, Earthbound at 96 or whatever it was? Like, how do you even compare those? Yeah, it's like, I mean, okay, I will say this about Sea of Thieves, though. I played it when it first came out, and there was a lot of hype around it, but there was also a lot of disappointment when it came out, because the game was pretty bare bones at the time, and I think a lot of people weren't expecting it to be so bare bones in 2018. However, you know, 6 years have passed, and they're still updating Sea of Thieves. It's more full of features than you know, a lot of other games like it, right? A lot of multiplayer games, like, they just kind of get given up on, right? But I played Sea of Thieves recently, and there was so much new stuff, I just didn't know what I was doing. I mostly just bailed our ship out of water and patched up holes and stuff below deck. But yeah, you know what? I will say they have updated the game a lot, and it's cool. But at the same time, this is a top 100 games of all time list, and I'm not sure if I would put Sea of Thieves on there if I was trying to make, like, more than just my list, just like a list of, like, as objective and agreeable as possible. I don't know if I would put it on here, especially not 70. 70's kind of high, but I'm not going to sit here and argue about it either. Yeah, better than Doom Eternal. See, this is the thing, because they're two different genres, right? Because it's like Sea of Thieves, better than Doom Eternal, better than Sonic 2, better than, you know, I had to keep bringing it up, but Earthbound, better than, it's like, how do you even compare those? Kimmy, my wife, says, Sea of Thieves above Fortnite has me sent. You know what? Actually, that's an excellent point. Because I would put Fortnite over Sea of Thieves, personally. I feel like they've got similar energies, but Sea of Thieves is more restrictive, I guess, with the pirate thing. But yeah, so I agree, Kimmy, actually. All right, let's move on. Kingdom Hearts 2 at 69. Nice. Kingdom Hearts 2. Really? Now, I understand that it's probably people's favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Am I right on that? There's been so many of them. But yeah, two is people's favorite, I think. I am kind of a Kingdom Hearts hater. Sorry to say, just a little bit. I'm a hater, so I feel like I can't really weigh in on this. I just kind of feel like the combination of Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters doesn't work. I tried it. I tried it for the first game. I tried it for the second game. Listen, I played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, okay, for the Game Boy Advance, all right? I got into it. I tried. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not a hater. I am a hater. But I'm not like that kind of hater that, like, hasn't played the games and it's like, oh, that's stupid. It's got Mickey Mouse in it. Ugh. Okay. But really, at 69, that's pretty high. That's pretty high. You spend a lot of time in, like, the first couple hours of that game skateboarding, doing errands for people. All right, I'll stop. We'll leave it alone. Yakuza 0. I haven't played it, but from what I understand, people's favorite Yakuza game. Right? I don't think that there's gonna be that many people that disagree with this. I'm gonna make a prediction here. Isn't this like people's favorite Yakuza 0? I've got it in my Steam library, but never launched it. My Steam library is kind of like, it's kind of like all the toys under Sid's bed in Toy Story. They're just like, they want to be played with so bad, but nobody plays with them, so they just kind of sit there and collect dust. I feel kind of sorry for them sometimes. And Yakuza 0 is one of those games. Deserves to be on the list, yeah. I figure, you know what? Y'all strike me as Yakuza fans. This is not surprising me. But I'll move on. You know what? I've seen Yakuza clips. Seems like a very funny game that doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's the whole appeal behind the franchise, right? Just in general. So yeah, sure. We'll let Yakuza 0 be there. We're back to the Dota 2. 67. But how do you compare a MOBA to like single player games? How do you do it? Like, I played a lot of League of Legends. I don't know where I would put that on the list. Where would I put League on the top 100 list? Feel like you had to put it on there, but where? And for that matter, is this going to be the only MOBA that we would see? Are they going to have League of Legends as a top 30 video game of all time? You know they're going to have League of Legends on the list now. If they've got Dota 2, they're going to have League. I mean, I don't even really disagree with that. League of Legends has been going strong for, what is it, 11, 12, 13 years? Right? Since 2011? I remember playing when the game came out. I should know what time it was. I want to say it was 2011. 2010? Was it 2010? I mean, you don't get that kind of staying power for nothing. I know some anybody who like currently plays League is probably like, yeah, I'd put it there. And anybody who's like a former League player is like, it just belongs in the trash. Doesn't even deserve to sniff the top 100 garbage game. My life has been better ever since I quit. But yeah, I do kind of wonder now. I never played Dota 2. I was always told to stay away because it's like the most toxic game in existence, filled with the sweatiest people that have ever set foot in a video game. And you know what? League is like perfect for me, like skill-wise and toxicity-wise, because it's not that toxic. Not as toxic as people say. Not nearly as toxic as it used to be, for sure. But yeah, so I never played Dota 2. The closest I got was playing Heroes of New Earth, which was kind of the pretentious MOBA of its time. But yeah, never played it. All right. Where's Artifact? They're gonna have Artifact on the list? Oh wait, hang on. Do you think they're gonna have Hearthstone on the list? They're gonna have Hearthstone on the list, aren't they? They are. Oh, Hearthstone does not deserve to be on the list. I say this as someone who has played since Curse of Naxxramas. No. If they put Hearthstone on this list, no. I'm gonna rip them a new one over that if they do that. Nier Automata. Okay. Haven't played it. Know who 2B is, because how can you not? I've heard very good things about the game though. I'll play it at some point. Probably for John Wolfe at some point, I'll do a playthrough of Nier Automata. Yeah. Solid game. That's what I've heard. I remember in 2017 it was nominated for Game of the Year, wasn't it? So, I don't necessarily disagree with this. I feel like 66 is kind of high, but that's without playing it. Okay. 65 is it pronounced Ico or Eco? Now this is from the Shadow of Colossus developers, right? I don't know much about it. Is this okay for those of you guys that have played it? An adventure game? Is it an adventure game? By the way, my prediction of there being no point-and-click adventure games on this list is holding true so far. And I gotta say, if we make it to the end and they don't even have Grim Fandango, that's really gonna be kind of incredible to me. Because, like, if they don't have, like... I'm not expecting them to have, like, 5 point-and-click adventure games or anything, but, like... No Grim Fandango. I feel like we don't even know what an adventure game means anymore, so. Monkey Island. Oh. No. Alright. Well, I'll take y'all's word for it. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Sure. You know. If you gotta put a GTA game on, it's like, I feel like there's only a couple of choices. San Andreas and like Vice City should maybe be on the list. We'll see if there's another one. I never played GTA San Andreas, but I understand it's like revered, you know. And I can see it being 64. Sure. That sounds good. We'll see if there's another GTA game on the list though. Like if they put San Andreas 64 and then like GTA 5 11, then we got a problem, right? Persona 4 Golden at 63. I'm taken aback. I didn't expect to see my favorite people. I didn't expect to see them again. It's so good to see them again. Oh, there's Chie right there. There's Yukiko. Oh my gosh. Teddy. Great. Yeah, Persona 4 Golden. So I've played through Persona 4 Golden at least twice. Once on the PlayStation Vita, which, by the way, I'll go to bat for the PlayStation Vita. That console got the shaft. It was an amazing console. It had a back touchpad. The game is great, but the Vita console gets way too much crap. It had some good games too. It had Gravity Rush, Persona 4 Golden. Anyway. Persona 4 Golden is the only Persona game that I've played all the way through as well. I even streamed it. How many of you guys were at my Persona 4 Golden streams back on YouTube 8-9 years ago? Feel free to let me know. I believe I romanced. Who did I romance? Did I romance Rise? Because that sounds like me. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Oh yeah, we had the YouTube mods back then. Oh my gosh. We've come so far. Yeah, I think I romanced Rise. Both times. Listen, I'm a simple man, okay? I will say Chie is the best girl out of them, but I just didn't want to romance her. I don't know. Rise's a baddie, though. Anyway, yeah, great game though. Really, really good. It's got, like, if you haven't played Persona games, imagine like Pokemon, but you can date other trainers. And then that's basically Persona. And there's like a Danganronpa style murder mystery going on at the same time. You combine Danganronpa, Pokemon, and dating sim together, and you have Persona 4 Golden. Yeah. And that's kind of how Persona games generally are, from what I understand. I never played 5. I never finished 3, and they just recently remade that, so I want to check that out at some point. It's just, when are you going to have time to dump in 200 hours into a JRPG, right? So yeah, I'm happy to see it on the list. You know what? I didn't think I would see it. Has anyone been keeping track of how many SNES games we've seen? Because we've had Earthbound, and that's it, right? We've only had one SNES game. And we've had no games from pre-Super Nintendo Sega Genesis, right? And I predicted that we would have 3 from like the NES Atari days. I don't know if we're gonna hit that. And didn't I say, what else did I say? I said no visual novels and no point-and-click adventure games. Now, I don't consider Persona 4 Golden a visual novel, even though it has a lot of visual novel aspects. So I don't think this counts for that prediction. Oh, absolutely no FMV games. What, you think they're going to have Phantasmagoria on here or something? No way. All right, let's go. Borderlands 2. Okay, you know, I don't hate this. Because I like Borderlands, you know, looter shooter gameplay, and I think I remember liking 2 more than 1. Two's like the good one, right? Because, like, I mean, I think I played 1, 2, and 3, and I think I enjoyed all of them, but they're all like mostly the same. But I feel like 2, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it like really elevated. It's the one with Handsome Jack. That's what I thought. Yeah, there he is, right there. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Yeah, 2. Okay, two's the good one. Yes. Okay. I mean, not that the other ones are bad, but okay, you know what? I can see that. I do think that some things about Borderlands are kind of annoying, like I think Claptrap is one of the most annoying characters of all time. Love to hate Handsome Jack, but at the same time, I don't know. It's not always a good thing. I just think the characters in Borderlands are like really annoying, but I like the gameplay, so I'm kind of at an impasse with it. But I don't hate that it's on here. This is fine. Civ 4 at 61. You know what? I played like a little bit of Civ games. I think the one that I played the most was probably Civ 5. I never really got that into them though. But is Civ 4 like the best one in the series? Because I wasn't sure about that. I feel like that's kind of an odd choice, is it not? I'm not super into Civilization games. If they put like 6 on here, I'd be like, oh wow, I know that's wrong, but I can't really remember what people think about 4. Yeah, I thought 5 was the best. That's why I played it the most. Okay, well that's strange. Let's see if they say anything about it. Civ 4 is the game that modernized the Civilization series and arguably cemented its position in the pantheon of RTS games. I will say too, I just want to say they've had Age of Empires 2 and Civ 4. StarCraft had better be on the list. Like, let's be clear about this, okay? StarCraft arguably like started esports, like, period. Like, as a whole. I feel like StarCraft has to be on the list. But alright. You know, I'll let it go. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I haven't played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, but I know that 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 are kind of goated, right? And I hear that 3 is like slightly edges out the other 2 as like the fan favorite, so this seems fine to me. I know some people might prefer 2, some people might prefer 1, but I hope that this isn't that controversial, because it seems fine to me. Yeah, okay, I'll move on just so I don't get any spoilers. Ooh, Resident Evil 2002 Remake 59. Okay, first of all, I have to applaud them for putting the superior 2002 remake on the list above the original. Bold choice. But anyone who's played this game, come on. They cooked with this one. It was only 6 years after the original, right? Or 7, maybe 7. They cooked with this one. The remake, it honestly, like, one of the best remakes of all time. Possibly the best. It's amazing how different the game is. They like really polished it up. The atmosphere is so much better. It's actually scary. Yeah. 2002. I'm surprised. This is also our first Resident Evil entry and our second horror game, because we had Dead Space at 89 or something like that, 88. So then we got Resident Evil at 59. It makes you wonder where they're going to put Silent Hill and where they're going to put Resident Evil 4, because Resident Evil 4 had better be on the list. Yeah, rarely do remakes succeed in bettering their original counterparts, but Capcom pulled it off. Yep. I agree. This is absolutely right. Yeah, 59, you know, 59 is a respectable placement too. Like, I don't necessarily think it should be higher or lower. I think it's fine. That's fine. Wow. Gears of War 2. Okay, well now we're fighting again. 2. Okay, let's be real about this. As someone who's played a lot of Gears of War, okay, 2 has the worst final boss fight. And it's honestly, it's mostly good up until that point. Doesn't Dom whine a lot in 2? Isn't 2 like the Dom has a tragic backstory? One, I'm trying to see if I got it right. Yeah. Dom's so whiny in this one, man. I don't know. When it comes to Gears of War fans, and this might be, you know, a stunning and brave take, but I think 3 is the best one. I think Gears of War 3 is like peak Gears of War, and I don't understand why 2 is on this list, frankly. Gears 2 is often seen as the pariah of the series. Well, then why are we putting it on the best games of all time list? If it's often seen as the pariah, why is it number 58? Ugh. I don't understand. They had that entry earlier with like, it's seen as the most divisive in the series. Well, then why is it on the list? Huh? With its cliffhanger ending, leaving some players reeling. You know what left me reeling about the ending was that the boss for Gears 2 literally is just like, shoot that thing that doesn't move. It doesn't move, shoot it. Hold down the right trigger and it'll die. Oh, it's dead. You killed it. That's it. I'm not making that up. That is the final boss of Gears 2. And I have no idea why they did that, especially since the boss of Gears 1, General Ram, was such a good boss fight. Really good. Massive set pieces. Oh, okay. That combined with the game making significant strides in both competitive multiplayer and co-op with horde mode. Yeah, well, see, this is kind of the problem with like combining multiplayer and single player games into one list. It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess. Gears 2 multiplayer was fun, and I remember playing horde mode. I played a lot of horde mode actually, but you know, I thought we were talking about like the game's story and single player experience mostly. Whatever. All right. Celeste. Okay, we've got another indie game, and honestly, I'm surprised. I really liked Celeste. Yeah. It was difficult. It was a difficult platformer. This is a screenshot from near the end of the game when you're near the top of the mountain. I kind of want to replay Celeste. It's really good. It's got an amazing soundtrack. Amazing pixel art. Really smooth, like, gameplay. Some of the stuff you have to do in that game is really difficult. But like when you die quick and you respawn quickly. So it's because you do it over and over and over again. You're gonna die constantly playing this game. Some of the levels I like more than others. I'm honestly very surprised to see it this high, 57. Because I like Celeste, but for me, it's like a high 70s game than a high 50s. Like, I think it deserves to be on top 100, but quite a bit lower than this. That's just my take. But it is a good game. I like it, you know? Okay, what is going on? Apex Legends at 56. See, I just, this is one that, like I just said, it's so jarring to go from like a single player, like retro styled indie game like Celeste with like a banger soundtrack and like an emotional story and stuff to as far as I know, exclusively multiplayer live service game like Apex Legends. It's like I get whiplash having to think about the two different styles of games. Apex Legends over Fortnite. Like not just above Fortnite, significantly above Fortnite, because Fortnite was 76 if I remember. Or 74 I think. Right? Oh no, not. Oh no, 78. Fortnite was 78. And Apex Legends 56? Yeah, this is part of the problem with this list, man. It's like there's too much whiplash going from one thing to the next. I mean, what's next? We got Valorant at 43, you know? It just seems strange. I don't get this one. I don't get it. Cuz I have asked people who play Apex before, cuz I've been interested in playing the game. I've been like, should I start playing? And 100% of the time they have said no. They have said, no, you shouldn't. Don't play this game. You'll thank yourself later. And yet, 56 out of 100. Okay. Hitman World of Assassination, 55. Okay. I will defer to the Hitman experts because it's another series I haven't played. It looks fun. Is World of Assassination a good choice, though? It's the game? Okay. I saw 2021, and I was like, is this recency bias, or is this literally like, you know, the game? Okay, sure. Batman Arkham Asylum. It is a very good game. 54 seems kind of high. Let's be clear here. I 100%ed Arkham Asylum, okay? I got all the Riddler trophies. I did all the challenges. I got really into Arkham Asylum. I never finished Arkham City, and I didn't play the rest of the series, but I played the hell out of Arkham Asylum. In fact, one of my first YouTube videos was a review of Arkham Asylum. So I liked the game a lot. I just kind of feel like 54 is pretty high. It's more of like a low 80s game for me. But yeah, maybe I need to replay it. Yeah. And you know, it is worth saying that like it did kick off like the Arkham series, which is still continuing, you know, 15 years later. There's still like there's a new Arkham game coming up, isn't there? I do kind of feel like Arkham City is generally more well regarded though, right? That's the impression I've always had. I prefer Asylum obviously because I completed it. And I never completed City. But I kind of thought that City was more widely held as the best in the series. All right. Whatever. Oh, guys, another Animal Crossing game. Actually, I wasn't expecting this. New Horizons at 53. So they had, what was it, Wild World up in the 80s, I think, for Animal Crossing. And New Horizons at 53. We already talked about this because I was like, I feel like this was the most popular Animal Crossing because of the pandemic, right? But I don't know if Animal Crossing fans agree with this in general. And okay, you guys are booing. Okay, you guys in the chat are booing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, New Leaf. That's what I thought. Okay, so this is a strange one, right? Animal Crossing New Horizons was a huge improvement on its predecessor, which, if I'm not mistaken, is New Leaf, isn't it? Is that what they're talking about? Would you say it's a huge improvement? Plus, it came out during the COVID-19 lockdown. Yeah, there it is. A game that gave pure joy. Yeah, okay. So I think we can, you know, as someone, again, who hasn't played the Animal Crossing games, but just that my general impression of the games is that this is kind of not a great choice for here. Okay, well, that's disappointing. Outer Wilds, 52. You know what? I haven't played it yet. It's on my list. At this point, it's my bucket list. I do want to play it. People have been asking me for years, basically ever since it came out. Oh my god. Outer Wilds fans. They're always like, don't learn anything about the game. Don't learn anything. There's two types of Outer Wilds fans. There's the Outer Wilds fans that are like, put on a blindfold, cover your ears. You don't see or hear anything. And then there's another type of Outer Wilds fans that's just like, no, I'm not gonna say what it is, but there's a twist. I'm not gonna say what it is though. But there's a certain moment where it's like, okay, well, you're giving a lot away, actually. But yeah, sure. I mean, I'd like to see an indie game. Like to see an indie game this high. And I have heard that Outer Wilds is like a transformative experience. Also kind of an experiment. But yeah, I'm excited to play it. So sure. Well, I don't care. I don't care about the racing games. Can anyone tell me? Gran Turismo 4, does this make sense? I think the only other racing game we've had is Need for Speed Underground 2, right? So, okay. Car game. Not to be disrespectful, but just... All right. Oh my god! I said top 50, didn't I? I said top 50, and Chrono Trigger's 50! Okay, second SNES game, which... okay, wait, hang on. If Chrono Trigger is number 50, which again, I would put this top 20 if I was making an objective list. Like, I would say top 20. It's widely considered the best Super Nintendo game. The only game that I think beats Chrono Trigger for some people, depending on the person, depending on the list, is Zelda Link to the Past. So it's either Chrono Trigger or Link to the Past at the top of Super Nintendo games, generally. So the fact that this is number 50, that means we're not going to get 5 Super Nintendo games. Oh, you Final Fantasy people. Shut up. I'm just kidding. You Final Fantasy people. I remember seeing tweets about like Black Myth Wukong winning Game of the Year, and of course there were people there always are. They're like, FF7 Rebirth is gonna take it. No, it's not, dude. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth isn't gonna sniff Game of the Year. I hate to break it to you, Final Fantasy nerds. Okay, not gonna sniff Game of the Year. No way. Not gonna happen. I'll go on record saying that. Not gonna happen. Final Fantasy fans were like that last year about 16. They were like, oh, Final Fantasy 16 is gonna win Game of the Year. I'm like, have you seen what it's up against? It's up against Alan Wake 2. It's up against Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's up against like what even one? Baldur's Gate 3. You think FF16 is going? They're always like that. I'm just learning to ignore them. Final Fantasy 16 is going to take it. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is going to take it. You know what? There's more games out there than your little anime hair game. All right. Sorry, I'm done. I just had to say it. I'm sure Final Fantasy 6 is a good game, and I have heard, in all seriousness, that's like a top 3 SNES game. So yeah, Final Fantasy 6, not played it, but, well, I started it. I never finished it. But, yeah, Chrono Trigger, Link to the Past, and FF6 are very highly regarded SNES games. But I just don't think that either way, we're not gonna get 5 SNES titles. Okay? So, that's kind of sad. But I am happy that Chrono Trigger's on the list. I was, like, kind of worried that it wasn't even going to be on the list at all. But they put Earthbound at 96, so. Chrono Trigger, best game of all time for me. 49, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. I've never been much of a Devil May Cry fan. I only played 1 and 2, so I never played 3. So, but I do understand that it's held in high regard, and it wasn't 4 when Devil May Cry 4, isn't that when they kind of so they kind of peaked with 3, right? DM2 is the yeah. I mean, I never finished DMC2, so. Yeah. But yeah, Devil May Cry 3 at 49. Here's a question here. Devil May Cry 3 over Chrono Trigger. I just kind of feel like I mean, I'm sure it's good, but damn. It's like what I've said earlier of like I feel like the more modern style of game is honored on this list more than like the retro style. And by the way, of all the Chrono Trigger screenshots, you're going to take an overworld screenshot of like the starting town. This is as ugly as the game gets. It doesn't get any uglier than this. How about you should, dude, show one of like the cool battle scenes or something. I don't know. Feel like, and then Devil May Cry 3 gets this badass like cutscene image here where it looks awesome. Whatever. Do I even want to know what you guys think of this? Modern Warfare 2. I will just say in defense of Modern Warfare 2, I know you guys are most of you guys are probably gonna be against the bro shooter, but I mean this is like peak bro shooter. The Modern Warfare 2, like that's the game, right? Kind of 48 kind of I don't know. Honestly, I kind of feel like 48 kind of low. Am I wrong? I feel like Modern Warfare 2 is like the bro shooter to end all bro shooters. Like if you're gonna have multiplayer shooters on the list, I just feel like is there gonna be one higher than this? Because I don't even know what that would be at this point. Because they had Counter-Strike earlier, so I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Okay, you know what? I was anticipating a top 20 League of Legends placement. So 47? I mean, honestly though, okay, 2009. So I was wrong. 15 years. As someone who still plays League of Legends, I played it just a couple days ago. The fact that it's still going 15 years later is both exciting and depressing at the same time. Depressing because the game severely needs to be updated. I don't know if any of you guys have played Wild Rift, the mobile version of League of Legends, but it shits on League of Legends in terms of like the UI and graphics and like how it shows off the cosmetics and stuff. I'm like, they need to get this in the base game, but the base game is, 15 years old, so but anyway, yeah, for a multiplayer game to be going this long and with no signs of stopping, like it's about as popular as it's ever been. It's really impressive. I don't entirely disagree with it being in the top 50, frankly. I think it's good that it's not top 20 or top 30. Top 50 though, like on one hand, I'm like, oh, it's above Chrono Trigger. But on the other hand, I do think there's something to be said for its longevity and its effect on like Twitch culture, streaming, esports. Like it's been a very impactful game in a lot of ways. I don't know. We'll have to see what the rest of the list is like. I think my acceptance of this is contentious on the rest of the list. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. 46. I just feel like if there's gonna be a Super Smash Bros. Game, and I did play Ultimate, okay? I just feel like Melee should have been the choice. But then again, I feel like Melee has a very enthusiastic but semi-hated following. Because I am aware that they're called like, what are they called, like Melee Bros or something? I don't know. There's like a derogatory term for people who are who would think that Melee is like head and shoulders above the rest, but like it is though, isn't it? Melee best one. Come on. Am I just saying that because it was like, I don't know. It's another reason why I bought a GameCube. Yeah. Brawl. No way. No. Brawl. I'd put Ultimate over Brawl. I'd put Ultimate over Brawl, and I'd put Melee over both. Yes, I know you can dodge in Super Smash Bros. You know, that's what was really insulting about that. No, there's nothing bad about Brawl. Just Melee's better. Yeah. Melee. Over. Okay. You know what? Truce with the Brawl fans. Melee and Brawl fans shake each other's hands. We can at least agree that Ultimate shouldn't be 46 on this list, right? Can we agree on that? Let's call a truce. I don't want to fight. I used up all my fighting energy shitting on Final Fantasy revisionists. Okay. All right. Uncharted 4. Okay. I did play Uncharted 1 and 2. I did not play 4. But from what I understand, it's the best Uncharted game. Or it's the favorite Uncharted game. I stopped playing the Uncharted games because I heard 2 was really good. And I finished that and I was like, I mean, just not my game, I guess. Why are FF catching strays? What did we do? We've already been over what you've done. You know what you've done. Yeah. I mean, this is the last Uncharted game, right? Like, it's Sinnoh Beats with the raid. My friend Sinnoh Beats. Rating. I've got notifications off right now. We're recording for YouTube. We're going through Dexerto's best games of all time list. Sinnoh, I have something to show you. Don't leave. We're at number 45 right now, which is Uncharted 4. Sinnoh, I have something for you. I have something I think you'll like. Number 90, Phantasy Star Online. Did they eat? Did they cook? We need to know from the Phantasy Star Online expert. Let's go! Now, I will say, this is the only MMO on the list so far, but I was saying that if they've got Phantasy Star Online at 90, then they almost assuredly have World of Warcraft in the top 10. They have to, right? And like if they're doing MMOs. But yeah, this is the only MMO I've seen so far, I think, right? We didn't miss one, did we? Maybe there was one and I just forgot. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. There have been a lot of weird ones like Diablo 4 at 86. We were like, what were they thinking? And we're at 46 now. Or 45. And we haven't seen Diablo 3 or 2. So we're like, oh, this is the only Diablo on the list. Sinnoh, let me get your thoughts on this too. Okay, first of all, Soul Calibur 2, 85. Which I was very happy to see. Yeah, that's PUBG, that's Tomb Raider, Metroid Prime, Age of Empires 2, Fortnite. This is that kind of list that it is. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Spec Ops: The Line, Return of the Obra Dinn. They put Street Fighter 4 at 74. Now, I didn't think much of it, but then the first sentence is that they've put Street Fighter 4 over 2. Now, am I right in being outraged over this? Or am I just an old man yelling at a cloud? Because when I read that, I was like, you're telling me Street Fighter 2 is not on the list. But 4 is? And 4's at 74? And just for context, too, Mortal Kombat 11 is higher on the list. It's like 90, 94 or something like that. It's outrageous, right? Outrageous. Having 4 for that reason is awkward because 6 is actually doing an amazing job of bringing the series back. Well, yeah, I can see that too. But I'm just saying, you gotta have 2. You gotta have 2 on the list. This is the best games of all time, not best games of the 2000s. Yeah, you gotta have 2. Exactly. Okay, that's what I was waiting for. Exactly. Insane. But yeah, there have been some good entries like Symphony of the Night. Sea of Thieves being at 70 was kind of weird. Yakuza 0. They had Dota 2, but like it's such a weird list because you've got like single player games mixed in, like Persona 4 Golden, mixed in with like Resident Evil 2002 remake. We were very happy to see that at 59. Mixed in with like Apex Legends. It's very awkward. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Let's see. Where were we? 40. League of Legends at 47. League of Legends at 47. Chrono Trigger at 50. So that's the kind of list that we're looking at. So no, last question. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 46, but no Melee so far. And I don't think that there's going to be a Melee entry. How are we feeling about this? Because I know you're Mr. Super Smash Bros. You taught me how to dodge. No Melee? Exactly. Okay. The outrage. The outrage, right? Why? It's unbelievable. Okay. No. Okay. Marvel's Spider-Man at 44. Listen, I love this game, okay? I've 100%ed the game. I played through it a second time on YouTube. I had a great time. I played all the DLC. It's not a 44. Sorry. I love Spider-Man. I love the Insomniac games, but it's not a 44 of top 100 all time. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. No. That's Looney Tunes. I disagree completely. It is a great game. If we were doing top 100 of the 2000s, sure. But 44? That's so high. Okay. Like the movement in the game is great. Don't get me wrong. I love this game. I think it's like an A tier game. But on top 100 of all time? No. The thing is, too, is like I think that 2 is better in a lot of ways. I don't know. Yeah, I disagree with this. Ooh, BioShock 43. I think BioShock should be top 20 of all time, but 43 is good. 43 is good. Yeah. I'm happy to see it on the list. Great atmosphere, very influential style. The gunplay is good, the powers are good. Infamously good story. Yeah, BioShock, great game, very unique. I know there's probably like some grumblers out there about like borrowing too heavily from like System Shock and stuff, but yeah, I mean, BioShock is like a definitive game of that era, I would say. So I totally agree with this. I do think it should be higher, but I'm just happy to see it. So I know some people are going to be like, BioShock 2 was better, but in terms of like cultural relevance and impact and stuff, I think 1 supersedes it. Okay. .42 is Left 4 Dead. I've played a lot of Left 4 Dead. I guess I just don't. I do like Left 4 Dead. I don't like it as much as most people like it. Some people love this game. And like it's fun. It's fun to play in a group of 4. Or even co-op, just like 2-player. But even then, you got to deal with like the 2 bots and everything, and that's frustrating to play on like advanced or expert difficulty. The 2 bots are just so dumb. I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it this high. I think at the time at release, it was like a phenomenon, right? But I just don't know about like today in retrospect, looking back, that it's like 42 good. I think it's like 90 good. You know? I feel like it's really high. And on top of that, I prefer Left 4 Dead 2. But, you know. The first one, right? Anyway, yeah. I kind of wanted to hide that. I didn't know if that was a brave take or not, but okay, so you guys agree Left 4 Dead 2? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just not I mean, it's not like egregious or anything. I'm not going to sit here and say like, what were they thinking? Like Diablo 4 at 86, but okay. Okay, Fallout New Vegas 41. This is like, well, it depends on the Fallout fans, but I think this is like the series favorite for Fallout fans that aren't like early hardcore Fallout fans that will be like, it's actually 2 is the best one. This is like new era Fallout is like, this is everyone's favorite, right? I haven't played it. I'm just going off of what I've heard. New Vegas. So this makes sense. I would even say, just based on what I've heard and stuff, 41 might be a little low. With how popular the Fallout series is, and this is like the best representative, a lot of people think. I feel like it's a little low. 41, right? Yeah, I know there's a lot of Fallout 4 haters. And 3, I feel like, I think when New Vegas came out, it kind of like, because 3 came out before New Vegas, right? Am I getting the timeline right? I feel like 3 was like, if I remember correctly, the reception was pretty good to 3, but then New Vegas came out and people were like, oh, well, this shit's on 3, right? Where are all the From Software games? You know what? That's a great point. We have not seen a single Souls game. Whoa. We have not seen a single Souls game. I didn't even realize that. Where are they going to put Bloodborne? Bloodborne, okay, hang on, stop. We got to talk about this before we keep going. Bloodborne got to be top 10. I'd put Bloodborne top 10. I would. I'm just saying. I put Bloodborne top 10. But what about Dark Souls? Do you think Dark Souls is going to be top 10? How much of the top 20 do you think is going to be from Soft games? Because I feel like you got to have Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne in the top 20. And for this list. Not for my list. But for this list, I feel like they're going to do that, right? They got to have all you don't think they're going to have Sekiro in the top 20, do you? Sekiro, they might have Sekiro like 35 or something. Please no Bloodborne on here. Okay, we're just going to ignore that heresy happening right now. Sorry you couldn't get past the Cleric Beast, okay? But Bloodborne goated game, okay? Journey at 40? I don't disagree. I have a great story about Journey. I played Journey with Kimmy at her apartment before we lived together. She was like getting into gaming a bit at the time. And she was playing the That Game Company games. And we had one controller, but we kind of swapped back and forth. And we were playing Journey, and we were just like, oh, isn't this nice? What a great atmosphere, you know, great soundtrack, yada, yada, yada. We were just kind of enjoying it. And then there was another person that was kind of like bopping around with us, and we were like solving puzzles together and stuff. And I assumed the whole time that it was an NPC, because like there was no name above the character or anything. And we found out at the very end, we got the username of the person that we played with. We went through the whole game with them, and we were like, oh my god, that was another person. And we both kind of looked at each other like, that was another person the whole time? Because you can like communicate with each other, from what I remember, doing like little like and stuff. and little symbols appear, and you kind of co-op through the game, but there's no indication that you're playing with a real person. And so we were like, our minds were like blown. We're like, what? We couldn't believe it, because they played almost like an NPC. Like, they were helpful, they were, and I guess, like, because I remember playing through it and being like, I mean, this is a cool game and stuff, but I've heard like people lose their minds over this. I don't really get it. And then like when I saw that, I was like, I get it now. This game's awesome. So I don't know how common of an experience that is, but especially with its online surprise. Okay, so that is. Oh my god! What? Oh no. Dude, remember when Overwatch won Game of the Year in 2016 at the Game Awards? I feel like at the time it made sense for Overwatch to win Game of the Year, because it was definitely like, I mean, I disagree with it, but I can see it. But I feel like now, time has been so unkind to Overwatch since then, in the 8 years since. I mean, isn't Overwatch 2 going back to 6v6, and now people are like, you sold literally the same game twice then? I think that Overwatch hasn't aged well. I think, especially like Blizzard, people are like really anti-Blizzard just in general now, Blizzard Activision. I feel like this on a 2024 list is very weird to me. Porn franchise of the year. Yeah. This is weirder than Apex Legends at 56 or League of Legends at 47 or Sea of Thieves at 70. Overwatch at 39. This is 11 spots over Chrono Trigger. I'm going to just keep saying that. Okay, that's odd. Oh, CSGO. Okay. So CSGO, so this is the bro shooter that beats Modern Warfare 2 at 38. Okay. I mean, sure. I feel like with a lot of these multiplayer shooter games, I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense. Even though I don't like play them that much. Yeah, I was like, in my mind earlier when I looked at Modern Warfare 2, I was like, well, we already had Counter-Strike, so we're done with that. But no, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I think that 38 kind of high, but at least it beat Overwatch, Overwatch isn't the top multiplayer shooter game. That's another thing, dude. Overwatch over Modern Warfare 2. Huh? All right. Oh, hell yeah. Now we're cooking. Mario 64, 1996 for 37. I agree. I agree with this placement. I think it might be like a little low, like maybe high 30s or something like that would be better. Super Mario 64, really good game. Really good game. Not the best N64 game. Is this the first N64 game we've had? Anyway, not the best N64 game, not the best Mario game, but very good. And like at the time, this was like revolutionary. I remember just being amazed that the game was in 3D and stuff. It was just so impressive. And they not only was it like an impressive 3D like world and stuff, but the controls and everything that you could do, the jumps you could make. It was it was amazing, honestly. Cause like they stuck the landing. It wasn't just like an innovative game. They nailed it. So yeah, cool. Glad to see it. Shadow of the Colossus, 36. Okay. When we had Eco or whatever at 65, I was like, okay, well, we gotta have, I mean, Shadow of the Colossus is gonna be higher than this, right? I have not completed Shadow of the Colossus. I've only played a little bit of it, but I liked what I played, and I keep wanting to go back. I just haven't had time, really. We'll do it on the second channel at some point. I could definitely see this. Yeah, this makes sense to me. I think some people would put this top 10. I think it's a little low, honestly, 36, just from what I've heard and how people regard it. I feel like it should be a top 20 game. Because, like, I think if you do, like, top 5 PS2 games, most people would put this in the top 5. And I would imagine we're going to have, like, 5 PS2 games coming up. It really disappoints me that we've had no NES games at all. That's crazy. I think the only NES game that has a chance to show up at this point is Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. And at this point, I would say it's too high. But on the other hand, it's like, if you don't have it, then there's going to be no NES games on the list at all, which is crazy. Yeah, OG Zelda. OG Zelda is an amazing game. I've beaten it. I've beaten OG Zelda. It's a hard game, but I beat it. Neither of them being... No Zelda games so far, actually. That's another interesting thing. I feel like things are getting kind of tense heading up into this. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3. Yes, exactly. Actually, yeah, now that you mention it. Yeah, they should honestly, they should have Super Mario Brothers 3. They should have, original Zelda. I mean, I don't think they're going to have any NES games, though. Because we're getting too crowded. Mario Kart 8 at 35. I like Mario Kart, okay? I like Mario Kart 8 in particular. I think 8 beats 7. 8 clears Double Dash. It clears a lot of Mario Karts. It clears the original Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, all the other ones that I can think of, but it does not clear Mario Kart 64. That's my opinion. I think Mario Kart 64 is the definitive Mario Kart experience, and I like 8. It's slick, but it doesn't have the character that 64 had. And 64 really popularized. I don't know. Is this another old man yells at cloud situation? Because like I said, I like 8. I think 8 is the best entry in the series since 64. But I just feel like it's so high here. And they're not going to have 64, are they? Like, this is it. Because let's be honest, you're not going to have 2 Mario Kart games in the top 35. You're just not. And if you are, we got a problem. Like, if this was like 70 or something, I'd be like, sure. Well, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Silent Hill 2 at 34. Okay. Our first Silent Hill entry and our third horror game. Because we had Dead Space at 89. We had Resident Evil Remake at 59. And we have Silent Hill 2 at 34. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I think low 30s is fine. I think it's totally fine. And yeah, it's a great game. Can't wait to play the remake. Yeah. No notes. Cyberpunk 2077 over Silent Hill 2. 33. Really? I mean, okay. I will say I played 2077 for probably 10 hours. And I just slowly lost interest. But that was when it came out and people were, shitting on it. But I've heard that they've really fixed it up, and especially the DLC Phantom Liberty is very good. And the game is completely different now. But I am is it that good? Is it 33 good? Here's another thing too. If they got Cyberpunk at 33, they had better have Witcher 3 top 20. I would put Witcher 3 top 10, actually. Witcher 3 top 10. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. Undertale 32, I don't disagree. I think I know that there's some Undertale haters out there because the fan base is kind of annoying and stuff, but Undertale is an amazing game. It's really good. It's really innovative. I mean, it's very inspired by Earthbound, but it really, I don't know, I feel like it gave the Earthbound like vibe and stuff like a modern twist, and the soundtrack is incredible. The fact that Toby Fox did it all pretty much by themselves. The humor is great. The fact that you can play through the game pacifist or the genocide route where you kill everything and it alters how things go. That's really cool. Undertale 32, I get it. Yeah. I don't think it's too low or too high. I think it's perfect. Yeah. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, I have played Super Mario Galaxy. I have not played 2. But is 2 better than 1? I generally hear that 2 is preferred over 1. I really want them to release this on the Switch, because the main reason I haven't played it is because I don't want to play with Wii motion controls. I just don't want to do it. And that's the only way that you can play the game, right, is with Wii controls. No, my mom hasn't played Galaxy 2 either. She's played Galaxy. She 100%ed Mario Galaxy, actually, which requires you to beat the game twice, by the way. Or 100%. You have to 100% the game twice to actually 100% it. Once as Mario, once as Luigi. I know, because I did it too. But no, she didn't play 2. I don't know. I think Super Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game of all time, but I recognize if that's a brave take, so fine. I do wonder where Super Mario World is going to go now, though. No, it's not recency bias, I promise. I promise it's not. Because I played Galaxy more recently, and 64 more recently than Odyssey. Inside at 30, that is so high. That is so high for Inside. And it's cool to see an indie game. I do like Inside, and I do think it's peak Playdead is the dev, right? The Limbo developer. But 30 is so high. Inside over Undertale? Inside to me is like an 80 choice, not a 30 choice. That's a top 30 video game of all time. There is no perfect game, but if there was a contender, Inside might be the closest. I absolutely disagree with that. It's good. It's a good game, but it is not top 30 all time. That's not true. And it makes me mad that it makes me sad that I'm getting like mad at it, because like this is a good game, and it's not like it's like Overwatch at 30. I'm not outraged, but I am like really confused. Hades 29. Okay. Haven't played it, but want to play it. I have played Bastion, which I really enjoyed, and from what I understand, Hades is Supergiant's best game. It's one that they made the sequel to, right? So I do want to get into it at some point, and I'm glad to see another indie game this high. We are, we're on a weird indie streak here, sorta. It's like Undertale, Inside, and Hades. Kind of crazy. Okay. And Stardew Valley. Whoa, what's going on? That's 4 of the last 5 have been indie games. Okay, how are we feeling, Animal Crossing fans? Stardew Valley, 28 of all time. I mean, I love Stardew. I do kind of feel like top 30 is a little high. And I love Stardew. Okay? It's still a little high, though. Top 30 of all time. Like, you're putting Stardew Valley. I don't know, man. I love Stardew Valley, don't get me wrong. I think it is one of the best games of all time. I just feel like when you're encompassing all the genres across all the console generations and stuff, 28 is just very high. And I know that we just got done with Hades at 29, but I haven't played Hades, so I can't really weigh in on that. I don't know. I love Stardew, though. It's the type of thing that, like, if it was 31, I would be like, okay. But 28 is just like, it's just pushing it a little. But with that said, great soundtrack. I've played through it several times. I 100%ed the game. You can see it on YouTube. I 100%ed it. I reached perfection. I got the special credits roll out. I love the game. But yeah. Woof. Yeah, we're just getting into really controversial territory now. What? This is what I mean. What? Really? I mean, is it that good? Is it that good? I don't know. I'm not a Destiny gamer. Is it 27 good? You got Destiny 2 over CS:GO and Modern Warfare 2? You know what I mean? Not only do you have it over Modern Warfare 2, you got it like 20 spots over Modern Warfare 2. It's like with every spot we're getting like a little more like it's getting too tight in there. Like the top 25, it's getting too tight. Like all the games that I expect to be in there can't possibly fit. And then we see Destiny 2 and I'm like, you used up a spot for Destiny 2. Okay. Oh, this is going to be tough. Yeah, I mean, it was inevitable, wasn't it? Minecraft 26. I mean, Minecraft is like an entire genre, so like I can't argue against it. I'm not mad. I'm just sort of like, we had to have it at some point, I'm actually kind of I feel like for this list it's a little low. I feel like for this list I was kind of expecting more like 15 or something. But okay, I don't have much to say about it, and weirdly neither do they. This is it. This is all that they wrote about it. Yeah, I mean, it is like, possibly it is like the most popular sandbox game of all time. Like, when we babysat my nephew and my niece a few weeks ago, they both made me watch them play Minecraft. So like I have an appreciation for the game and everything, but okay, let's go. Top 25 coming up. God of War 2018. Now I've beaten God of War 2018. I never uploaded any videos of it or anything. First of all, I will say I think that the introduction to this game is like really good. I think it's one of the best introductions to a game I've had. Very intriguing. There's like an air of mystery to it. There's like a very intimidating power scaling fight that happens. And I think there's some very impressive set pieces. The World Serpent is a sight to behold. I think a lot of the abilities that you get are pretty cool. I love, Atreus, the kid? He's a boy. I think they have a great dynamic and everything. I will say that by the time I finished it, I was kind of like, that's it? And I feel like it's a really impressive game, but I did kind of feel like it was a little overrated. But I'm not surprised to see it at 25. That makes sense because it did win Game of the Year in 2018. I will be interested to see if Red Dead Redemption beats it, or Red Dead Redemption 2 rather, because that also came out in 2018. So we'll see. So once again, I want to reiterate to people, no Zelda games so far. And also, Only 2 SNES games. They're gonna have Link to the Past, right? At this point, Link to the Past had better be in top 25. And then, but now I'm worried they're not gonna have Super Metroid. Yeah, no Pokemon games. I mean, if they didn't have Crystal, then there's no hope. And if they haven't had one by now. All right, let's go. Half-Life 2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Half-Life 2 is a top 25 game of all time. I agree with that. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like peak Valve, right? Like, this makes sense. Like, when I saw Left 4 Dead, I was like, I see Half-Life 2, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it was like revolutionary when it came out, and I mean, it's got that Valve movement, it's got the gravity gun. Oof. Ravenholm, one of the best set pieces of any game of all time. I do wonder where Portal 2 is going to be. Because you know what? That's a good point. We haven't had Portal 2. Is Portal 2 going to be top 10? Because like now I've got like 20 different games in my head that I'm like, is that going to be top 10? Okay. Let's go. Halo 3. Halo 3 at 23. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, where's the first Halo? Is it going to be higher than this? Because it should be. Halo Combat Evolved, like, revolutionized gaming, and you're gonna put Halo 3 at 23. That means Halo 1 gotta be. It's like another one that I'm like, Halo 1 gotta be top 10, right? Halo 3? I mean, I liked Halo 3, but 23? Okay. Ocarina of Time, this is a top 5 game of all time. At 22, recency bias, 100%. It's an outrage. It's an outrage. It's disrespectful. I won't stand for it. 22? Pork, you haven't even played it. You played one Zelda game in your entire life. And you played it twice. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, when it was renamed. Ocarina of Time is peak. And here's the thing, too. Okay, here's the thing. Are they going to have Majora's Mask? This is our first Zelda game. That's okay. There's so many thoughts going through my head right now. Ocarina of Time at 22 is too low, first of all. Second, this is the lowest ranked Zelda game on the list. Because now you'd have to think they're going to put Breath of the Wild in there. Whatever. They got to put Link to the Past in there. They got to put Majora's Mask in there, right? So we got 3 Zelda games coming up, right? Porg, you've played like 5 games in your entire life. Give me a break. Best game of all time. So like, this is going to be really Zelda heavy, but then we also have not had any FromSoft games. So I'm like, we got Bloodborne coming up. We got Elden Ring coming up. We got Dark Souls coming up. So it's like 6 games out of the next 21 are Zelda and FromSoft. What? Ocarina of Time being 2022 is... I mean, this is a top 10 game at minimum. Top 5 game, I would say. Arguably the most iconic game of the N64 generation. What do you mean, arguably? What do you mean, arguably? What beats it? What beats Ocarina of Time for N64? You could make a case for Majora's Mask, right? But like, I don't know, anything else. Super Mario 64, no. You know, I'm mad now. You know what else I'm mad about? No Banjo-Kazooie. No Banjo-Kazooie. Like, I don't think Banjo-Kazooie is a top 20 game, but it is like, you know, like a 72 or like a 66 or something like that. You know? GoldenEye. There's no GoldenEye either. Do you think GoldenEye? What is going on in this list? They gotta fit like 40 games in the top 20. How are they gonna do it? Ow, come on. I mean, you're gonna waste our time like this. Tetris. I guess, you know. Fine. What are we gonna do? Actually, a pre-SNES game. Our first one. Our only one. Okay, they've got one. I thought they were gonna have 3, but yeah, okay. I guess if we're gonna have one, Tetris. It's like, what's next? Pong. You're gonna put Pong in the top. It's like, we all get it, you know. Tetris could be the perfect video game. I mean, I guess if your definition of a video game is, I'm a Tetris hater. I've been trying to hide it. I've been hiding it my whole life, but I'm a Tetris hater. Okay. Killer soundtrack, okay? Killer soundtrack, but like we're taking the piss here by being like Tetris 21. Tetris above Ocarina of Time. Like, please. This is the problem with a list like this though, is because like they're two totally different genres. The perfect game. How many times are they gonna say that too? They said that earlier. They're just like, this is a perfect game, perfect game, perfect game. What'd they say that about? It was like as close to a perfect game as you can get. I can't remember. They said that earlier. A perfect game. Oh yeah, they said it for Inside. Oh, close to a perfect game. You know what? They're not all perfect games, okay? All right. I'm mad about Tetris. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Dark Souls 20. You know what? Makes sense. Okay. I get it. Dark Souls 20. You know, I've only played it a little bit. I haven't gotten into it yet, but my playthrough's coming up. Top 20 makes sense. So influential. And, you know, Demon Souls came before it, but Dark Souls is really what solidified and popularized the style. And it spawned Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, you know. Those wouldn't exist without Dark Souls. So, yeah, that's fair. 20. Top 20, you know. And Demon Souls is a little too rough around the edges to include in the top 20. I do think it's weird that Demon Souls wasn't even, like, the last 80 entries, though. You know, like, this is our first FromSoft entry. Well, now we gotta have Bloodborne and Elden Ring coming up, so yeah, that makes sense. See, Grand Theft Auto 5 at 19. Now tell me, GTA fans, how are we feeling? Because San Andreas, if you remember, was like 60 or like, it was in like the 50s, wasn't it? GTA San Andreas. And I remember saying, like, if we got GTA 5 over this, we might have a problem. But I'm not a GTA guy, so I just feel like this is recency bias again. Cause like GTA 5, one of the most popular games of all time. But and like, are we gonna have Vice City? Cause I kinda if 19 was GTA Vice City, I would be like, okay. You know, like, I won't put up too much of a fuss. But 5 being 19, that's really high. Really, really high. Oh, I knew they were. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. World of Warcraft not top 10. 18. You know what? I think that's... I don't like an MMO being in the top 20. I don't like it, but I feel like if you're going to do any game, if you're going to do any live service game in the top 20, World of Warcraft has to be it and no others. I can't emphasize that enough. We better not see any more multiplayer-only games from this point on. This has to be it. This is like the definitive online multiplayer game, okay? World of Warcraft. This had better be it. Nothing over this. No weirdo like Overwatch-esque entries after this. We've already had League of Legends, we've had Overwatch, we've had WoW. Nothing can possibly beat this. We better have single player games from this point on. Okay. Witcher 3 at 17. That's crazy. We better be... I mean, we must be stacked coming up because Witcher 3 is a top 10 game for me. Yeah, Witcher 3 top 10 game. I would say Witcher 3 is even the best of its genre. I think Witcher 3 best open world fantasy game. Yeah, it clears everything else. It even clears Elden Ring. And I like Elden Ring a lot. But I think Witcher 3 clears it. It's so good. Yeah, I think 17 is low. I think 17 is low. Have we had Mass Effect? You know what? The only BioWare game we've had so far is KOTOR, and that was like ages ago. So now I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, no Dragon Age. You know, I love Dragon Age Origins, but I would say older fantasy games have aged pretty badly. No Elder Scrolls. I just realized. Oh my god, they're going to put Skyrim in the top 10. I just realized. And they're not going to have Oblivion. They're not going to have Oblivion. They're going to have Skyrim in the top 10, and they're not going to have Oblivion on it all. Aren't they? That's what they're going to do. Oh no. That's crazy. Okay, let's keep going. What? 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 Whoa, what? 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 I was prepared for no Pokemon games. Okay, I have to compose myself. Why Heart Gold and Soul Silver and not just Pokemon Gold and Silver? I love Pokemon Gold and Silver. They're like top 50 games of all time. Maybe top 30 games. 16 for the remakes? I'm going through so many emotions right now. For a certain generation of Pokemon players, myself included, Silver and Gold were the definitive Pokemon games. Okay, so then why aren't they on the list? Hello? No, I've played Heart Gold. I've played it. I streamed it. I liked it. But like, I mean, here's my problem. Okay? It's because they're basically like Heart Gold and Soul Silver are very faithful remakes to Gold and Silver. But they did not have the cultural impact that the original games had. And I feel like that has to be weighed in lists like this when you're listing out top games of all time. You have to weigh cultural impact. You can't just be like, well, I mean, they're remakes. They've updated the game. I don't know, but then again, I was very accepting of Resident Evil Remake at 59. And that kind of denies the cultural impact of the original. I don't know. I feel very strange about this. I mean, you guys have already heard me rant about Gen 2. It's the best Pokemon generation. So on one hand, I'm like happy to see it here, but I'm also kind of shocked. We have not had Resident Evil 4 yet, and I'm worried that it doesn't make the list. Because we had Resident Evil at 59, the remake. We haven't had 4 at all. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 gotta make the list. Gotta make the list. Like, no, Resident Evil 4 is in the top 15. That's what that means. It might be number 15. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the attitude behind this. I feel like it's more recency bias. Yeah. I don't know. It's like if they put Final Fantasy 6 on the list, but they were like the 3D remake that's on Steam, you know, and not like the SNES original. It'd be kind of like that. That's how I'm kind of feeling right now. Okay. Okay. They had Halo 3 earlier, and I was like, well, they gotta have Halo 1. Okay, I can see Halo 1 being a top 15 game of all time. Fine. It's a little bit of a boring choice, but it makes sense, you know? And I'm glad, actually, that's not top 10. Because I like the game, but top 10 is... really? 15? Okay, sure. Sure. No notes on this. Good job. Okay, wait, actually, okay, first of all, Skyrim not top 10. We can rejoice about that. 14, I will say I'm worried that there's no Oblivion. I'm worried that there's no Oblivion, and this is the only Elder Scrolls entry. And also, I am a little bit annoyed that Skyrim beat Witcher 3. And that Skyrim is also 8 places above Ocarina of Time. But, you know, like, if we're going in, like, the fantasy RPG realm, I just feel like that's... But, you know, with that said, I do like Skyrim. And I never beat it because, I mean, who's actually beat this game? Come on. Did somebody beat? Somebody actually beat Skyrim? I don't know. I think you just kind of play it till you get bored and you turn the console off, right? But okay, sure. You know, at least it's not top 10. I do think that Skyrim was very good for the time. But I just kind of feel like 13 years later, are we really gonna have it that high? I don't know. I guess I'm not outraged, but Final Fantasy VII at 13. Not top 10? Wow. Not top 10. I'm kind of surprised. 13. I mean, I'm kind of a Final Fantasy hater, if you haven't figured that out from my rant earlier. So, you know, I think 7's like a little overrated. But, you know, I would put it in top 10 just in terms of like how well regarded it is. It's considered like, you know, the definitive Final Fantasy game of the series. 13 is just a little low, I feel like. A little low. No, so no, WoW was number 18. So it's not top 10. Phew. We dodged a bullet there. So it's only single player games from this point on, you would think. Okay. All right. Well, you know, I think it's a little low, honestly. See, I'm a hater and I'm saying that. So I'm a hater and I think it's low. So no, don't worry. Final Fantasy XIV is not going to be ranked above Final Fantasy VII. There is no chance that happens. This list is bad, but it's not that bad. There is no way. There is no way that happens. FF14 over WoW? And FF7? I mean, they've lost their minds a little bit. They're a little delusional. But come on. Let's be a little more respectful. Let's oh. Okay. We got a third SNES game. Super Mario World. Okay. All right. Yeah, you know what? I think it's too high, but okay. You're going to have Chrono Trigger at 50 and you're going to have Super Mario World at 12. I just feel like that's very disrespectful to Chrono Trigger. It's 38 places higher? I just feel like Super Mario World is more of like a top 30 game than 12. That's really high. I am excited to see another SNES game, though. Like, this is SNES game number 3. And we've got Link to the Past coming up. Which also, if Link to the Past is top 10, which it has to be, because it can't not be on the list, then I also feel like that's very disrespectful to Chrono Trigger to have it so much higher than Chrono Trigger. But then it's like, where's Final Fantasy VI? Is Final Fantasy VI not on the list? I just feel like the Super Nintendo being mega disrespected here. And that's with Super Mario World at 12. All right. Wait, what's happening here? You've got Resident Evil 4 at 11, but it says 2005, but it's got the remake as the screenshot. What's happening? Okay, we're talking about the original, but we've got a screenshot of the remake. Okay. Because I was like, you didn't put the remake at 11, did you? I mean, okay, I think RE4 is like a top 10 game, okay? So I'd put it a little higher. And I like the remake more than the original, actually. And I say that as someone who's played through the original like over 20 times on many different consoles. I love it. But I think the remake is really, really good. I think it's amazing. It's too bad that it can't be on here twice, you know, OG and remake in the top 100, because I think they both deserve to be there. But I assume that if they've got the OG at 11, they're not going to have the remake higher. That'd be ridiculous at this point. Let's see. The game is not that scary. Editor's note, speak for yourself. Oh. What? Do we have any COD bros in the chat? It's okay. You can come out. We just want to talk. Can you explain this? I was under the impression Modern Warfare 2 was like the definitive Call of Duty. And that was all the way back at like 52 or whatever it was. 46. Modern Warfare 1? First of all, Modern Warfare 1 top 10. Secondly, it's like 40 slots over Modern Warfare 2. This is outrageous, right? This is crazy. This is crazy talk. No way, right? No way. I mean, is this not a brave take? Is this like, oh, actually, in the COD community, Modern Warfare 1 is the GOAT? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, damn. But still, even if I'm wrong about that, top 10? Top 10? I don't know. I feel like that is polarizing. Okay, all right. Some of the COD bros are saying actually it's not that crazy. But all right, I mean, if it clears Modern Warfare 2, then maybe I misjudged. I never played Modern Warfare. I only played 2. But okay. All right. Oh, okay. Phew. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. Bloodborne, number 9. It's in the top 10. We did it. Oh, we made it. Bloodborne, number 9, game of all time. You know what? Surprisingly based. Yeah, it's so good, man. Number 9, yeah. Now, this means that Elden Ring beats Bloodborne. Huh. Which I disagree with. I disagree with that. So, okay, we've got 8 entries left. What are the 8 entries? Well, let's wait until 5. We'll wait until the top 5. And then we'll try and make predictions for top 5. Because I feel like 8 predictions is too hard. Okay, Bloodborne, though, great. Baldur's Gate 3 at number 8.
I mean, it is like an incredible game. Yeah. I mean, I think top 10 is respectable for BG3. It's really incredible. It is. I think 8. I don't know. I think there's a couple different ways you could kind of go with the thought process here. I think top 10 makes sense. I don't know if I'm just thinking about all the games that have to go into the top 7, and I'm like, but yeah, number 8, okay. I think there is a bit of recency bias here. I just wonder how Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be, how it would be ranked like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, type of thing. I think it's a top 15 game of all time. I just feel like I'd have to think about it, I guess. I'd have to think about it because it is very good. It is a very, very good game, and I played the hell out of it. I did everything that you could do in the game, and well, except for recruit Minthara because I killed her. That's really but other than that, I did everything that you could do in the game, in one run at least. Okay, sure. Wow. Mass Effect 2, 7. Now I played the first Mass Effect. I have not played 2, admittedly. But part of that is because I didn't enjoy Mass Effect 1 enough to want to be motivated to play 2. But I recognize it's the best one. Like, Mass Effect fans are always talking about, like, 2 is the masterpiece, 2 is the magnum opus of the series. 7, though. My God. 7? Is it really? Because I can see it being like a top 20 game. 7 just seems so high. Well, we had noticed earlier, like, there have been no Mass Effect games on the list up until now. But I just think about all the games that this is over. Like, Mass Effect 2 over Witcher 3? I don't see it. And like 10 spots over Witcher 3 as well. That seems wrong to me. Kind of messed up. But I haven't played it, so it's hard for me to talk too much about it. I just think about all the games that it's over. It's 15 spots above Ocarina of Time. All right. One more slot. Breath of the Wild 6. Oh, God. I mean, I knew it was coming. I'm just glad it's not top 5. I knew it was coming. I've got a lot of questions though now. Best game of all time? That's not what the list says, Porg. Sorry. Looks like it didn't even make the top 5. Whoopsie. All right. So,
what can be said about Breath of the Wild that hasn't been said before?
I'm a Breath of the Wild hater. Not a Zelda hater. Love Zelda games. Real Zelda games. Okay. Yeah, I disagree, but, whatever. Number 6. Sure. Why not? Now we got to talk about what's in the top 5. What's in the top 5? Because it feels like there has to be 20 games in the top 5. Okay. You'd think Elden Ring would be in top 5 because it seems wrong to not have it on the list at all. Is Portal 2 in the top 5? Red Dead Redemption 2. Surely. I mean, they're gonna have The Last of Us. You're right. Yeah, they're gonna have The Last of Us in the top 5. No. The Last of Us deserves to be on the list, just not in the top 5, bro. But then it's like, but what about Link to the Past? No Link to the Past? What about Final Fantasy VI? The SNES is getting robbed, man. That's what I'm saying. There's like 20 games that need to go in there. Well, they had Metal Gear Solid way up there. 3. They had Metal Gear Solid 3. But then it's like, do you have no Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2? Yeah, no Diablo 2, no Diablo 3. Those can't make top 5, but like Diablo 4 at 86, but no Diablo 3 or 2. No Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. You're right. That's because that can't be top 5. But we haven't seen it. That is no Super Metroid. Metroid Prime was the only Metroid game. The Super Nintendo got absolutely jobbed here. Yeah, no Dragon Age, no GoldenEye. Oh my god, I'm in pieces right now. But yeah, what's in the top 5? You'd think Elden Ring, Red Dead Redemption 2, what else did we say? What else did we say? Oh, Last of Us. Those are 3 of the top 5 for sure, right? So then what are the other 2? What could they be? Yeah, there's been no StarCraft. I can't believe no StarCraft. Oh, Portal 2. Yeah, Portal 2. Okay, we've got 4 of the top 5, surely. But then what's the 5th one? Okay. I mean, they had Age of Empires 2 earlier. But no StarCraft. Yeah. I mean, okay. All right, let's go. Let's find out. All right, number 5. Okay, Portal 2. I mean, I feel like this is really high. I would say Portal 2 is like a top, definitely a top 30 game, but 5 would be Ocarina of Time territory. You know, but they got that 22. I like Portal 2. Top 5 game of all time. Of all time? Though, through increasingly difficult puzzles, mind-bending storytelling, and smartly written characters like beloved antagonist GLaDOS, the sequel expands upon the foundations laid by its 2007 predecessor. Well, its 2007 predecessor was like an hour long, so yeah. Advanced physics. I'm trying to avoid getting spoiled on number 4. Okay, there we go. Advanced physics systems and the addition of a cooperative mode. Yeah, but the cooperative mode is like a different. It's not like you could play through the campaign co-op. You had like you had to play with little robot guys. So no, they had Sims 3 on earlier, but no Sims 2. Yeah, we held our hands in disbelief over that. Yeah, gels and stuff. I don't really understand, like, they're basically just describing the game here, and they're not explaining why it's top 5. I don't know, again, I like Portal 2, but 5 is too high. It's too high. All right, number 4, here we go. Ugh. I like The Last of Us, but number 4, you're talking, and I'm sorry to keep beating the drum, but Last of Us 18 spots over Ocarina of Time, 13 spots over Witcher 3. No, it's good, but and the thing too is, like, 10 years afterwards, I would say it has maybe not aged the best. I think in 2013 it was like insanely popular, beloved, game of the year, all that crap. But top 4 game of all time, nah. Sorry. And it's got a good story. The gameplay, though, is fine. I think that when you're like trying to stealth past clickers and fight like those style of enemies rather than just like dudes, because like when you're fighting dudes, it's just Uncharted, pretty much. Like you can, I don't know, it's got like crafting and like cover shooting and stuff, but it's nothing incredible. Really, what it's got going for it is the story. But yeah, let's read their reasoning. Following in the footsteps of Resident Evil 4, The Last of Us ups the ante. See, I would say I would put Resident Evil 4 over Last of Us. That's my take. Picking off regular infected like runners mimics standard zombie fare, yet clickers and their hypersensitive hearing subvert the usual undead tropes, such that stealth proves ideal more often than not. TLOU especially shines in terms of its storytelling. The premise is far from original. Few games have presented complex characters so cinematically. Made possible by the performances of Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. So, I mean, really, they're putting it here because of story. And I think the story is very good. But, and this kind of brings up something for me, too, of like, we didn't have Telltale's Walking Dead at all on here, which is kind of amazing. Because I would say that's a top 100 game. And I would say also that it was kind of the original Last of Us in a lot of ways, I think in some ways better story, but that's just me. I do like The Last of Us, don't get me wrong. I do think it is like it is a top game of all time, but 4 is so high. That's too high. What? Okay, I didn't see this coming at all. Okay, this is the 5th game. Huh? Persona 5? Number 3 game of all time. Now, I haven't played it, but I am a Persona fan, and they had Persona 4 Golden at like 50 or something, 55. 5, number 3? What? Gotta be recency bias, right? I just haven't heard this. If people told me, dude, if people told me that Persona 5 was this good, I would have played it. If it was actually this good, I would have heard about it and I would have played it by now. Number 3 of all time. Of all time? Is it even better than 4? Is it even better than 4? I mean, damn, man. I have not been living under a JRPG rock. I played more JRPGs than you have, I bet. Sorry, I haven't played this little fucking trendy ass 2016 game, okay? Yeah. And y'all played the Soul Blazer trilogy? I didn't think so. Sit down, all right? I got JRPG pedigree. All right. 3rd of all time? I just don't think so. I haven't played it, but I disagree with that. That's... What? All right. Ocarina of Time at 22, though. See, this is the thing. So no Link to the Past on this game. That's like... So what are the top 2? We got Elden Ring in the top 2. And then what was the other one that we had? Because we had Portal 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Red Dead Redemption 2. What's the best game of all time? It's Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Red Dead Redemption 2, number 2. You know what's funny? What's funny is God of War, which won Game of the Year in 2018, is number 25. Red Dead Redemption 2, which I'm playing through now, number 2. I mean, I feel like this makes a little sense just from what I've heard about the game and its reputation and stuff, but like, man, 2, that's really high. Does that mean Elden Ring is number 1? I mean, what? I mean, now that I'm seeing it, I mean, I know that like we were like Elden Ring has to be on here, but seeing it at number 1, the best of all time, the best of all time was made 2 years ago. What a coincidence. What a coincidence that the best game of all time just came out 2 years ago. What a coincidence. 2022, 2018, 2016, 2013, 2011. The top 5 games were all made in the last 13 years. We're living in the golden age. All right. We'll get to Red Dead in a second. Yeah. Okay, it's not actually that. Sure, Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't really have a problem with. It's not number 1. Elden Ring number 1. Many have strong opinions about what the best From Software game is. Purists may say the original Dark Souls or Demon Souls. Aggressive or horror-inclined players may gravitate to Bloodborne. And total masochists swear by Sekiro. Okay. I mean, I feel like that's a very small portion of the fan base, but okay. However, you'd be hard-pressed to find many to argue against how excellent Elden Ring is. You know, I've gone on record saying I like Bloodborne more, but, you know, I'm not going to fall my sword over it, frankly. Elden Ring feels like a culmination of all From Software's previous work rolled into one. It's the most open game they've ever made, with a huge world to explore and near-endless build customization. It's also easily From Software's most approachable game and empowers you to find what works for you. Okay, you're just, like, describing... Like, why is it number 1, though? Whereas a game like Sekiro wants you to master its demands with belligerent rigidity. Oh, we got a Sekiro hater here. Damn. Elden Ring is a game all about expression. You can be a big, tough warrior with a shield, sport a Grim Reaper-esque bleed build with a scythe, someone who likes to spread Scarlet Rot, or a sorcerer who deals in death magic. The Lands Beyond is a broad canvas, inviting you to find yourself amongst its many dangers. Okay. Adding to that, the game is just one of the many most beautiful worlds ever conceived. Well, okay, calm down. With a haunting but compelling tone that permeates every pore, it's a masterclass in space and field, making it one of the most cohesive, beautiful expressions ever given to the medium. Even if you struggle with Souls games, Elden Ring's on-ramping is generous, and you owe it to yourself to experience this world at least once. It's a fantastic, complex, deeply compelling world. Simply put, it's one of, or going by our voting, the best games ever made. Okay, first of all, word salad here, as far as the writing goes. Okay. Okay, yeah, but like these are all reasons why it's a good game, a great game even, but number 1 of all time? Let's go over all the games that didn't make the top 10 or even the top 100. Zelda Link to the Past. Hello? I don't even like the game, frankly. I don't even like Link to the Past. Don't get me started, okay? No Majora's Mask? No Disco Elysium! In the top 100 games? You're telling me Disco Elysium doesn't make top 100? No StarCraft? Best RTS in my opinion? No Final Fantasy VI? No Super Metroid? They only had 3 Super Nintendo games. They had Chrono Trigger at 50, they had Earthbound at 96, and then they had Super Mario World at 12. I don't understand. I don't get it. What did Kimmy say? Oh, Kimmy said no Calico. My thoughts exactly, Kimmy. No Calico? And I'm sorry, but you know, there is not going to be a perfect list, right? Especially like top 100 games of all time is such like a fool's errand, because you're having to put stuff like Gran Turismo 4 alongside Earthbound alongside Overwatch, and it just doesn't fit. If you were to do like top 100 first-person shooters of all time, you might have a better handle on that. Top 100 JRPGs of all time, top 100, racing games of all time, top 100 fighting games of all time. You probably want to do like top 20s at that point because there's not that many, but like, damn, it's like this is crazy recency bias. Like you got the top 5 games have all released in the past, like I said, 13 years. Yeah, you got Diablo 4. I mean, you got 3 Super Nintendo games. I mean, it's like 6, 2017, 2010. Is there a game in the top 10 released before 2010? Modern Warfare in 2007. I mean, 2005. You got Super Mario World in 1990. I mean, I'm glad that they threw us a bone in the retro world, but I feel like Super Mario World being like the 1990s representation. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Before 3D, I guess the pre-3D representation and like the top 20 or whatever is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. It feels like they kind of just put them in there just to put them in there. I don't even get me started on this Tetris shit. You waste our time putting Tetris at number 21. Yeah, we get it. It's can you fit the blocks? And this is the problem with the top 100 games of all time, because it's like you have to put Tetris in, but then it's like, where do you put it? Do you put Tetris at like 87? How dare you? It's Tetris. It's a definitive game of a generation. Right now, you have the theme song to Tetris in your head. It's iconic, etc. But then it's like, do you put it 21? Because I looked at that and I scoffed. I got mad. I can't look. It hurts too much. It hurts too much to see Ocarina of Time 22. How dare they? They massacred my boy. Ocarina of Time top 5 game. I don't care. I see a lot of you guys in chat telling me I need to make a top 100. But the thing is, like, I mean, how many times did you hear me today say, I've never played that game? Like, here, let me go through and tell you how many games I've played out of the top 100. Because I'm not qualified to do this, frankly. It would take me a long time. I played Elden Ring. I'm not going to say I've played Red Dead Redemption 2 because I'm playing through it right now. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've played WoW enough. 14. I'm not gonna say I've played Dark Souls because like I didn't make it very far. I've opened GTA 5, but I haven't done much in it. I played 14 out of the top 20. I played Tetris 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I don't know. Does it count that I played Cyberpunk? Because, like I said, I've played a few hours of it, but I don't know if it counts as saying I've played it. I'm going to leave that off. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh yeah, 34, sorry. 35. I played 35 out of the top 50. I guess I've played more than I thought. It's just there's a lot of entries that I was unfamiliar with. Like I hadn't even seen any gameplay of some of those. So but yeah, if I were to narrow it down to like, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it pretty extensively. Like, what would my best game of all time? What's the best game of all time? I don't know. Because, like, my favorite is Chrono Trigger. But I don't know if I'd say Chrono Trigger best game of all time. Number 1, Marvel Snap. Kimmy's roasting me in the comments. Bye, Kai. Thanks for modding. Honestly, I think if I were trying to make like an objective list of like not just my personal favorite, but like, I mean, I'd have to replay it, but I don't know. I mean, I might put Ocarina of Time number 1. I'd have to replay it to see for sure, but Ocarina of Time would at least be top 5. Maybe top 3. It's such a like that is the N64 game. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair pick. I know that some people would be like, I wouldn't put it number 1, but I feel like it's tough to argue it being outside the top 5. I know there's some haters out there, you know. I saw the Ego Raptor video where he shits on it and says Link to the Past is a superior game and 3D Zelda is a joke and all that. But you know, I mean, there are people that say that Resident Evil 2 remake is trash because it's behind the back third person and not fixed camera angle. So there's always going to be people that agree and disagree and stuff. But I feel like if you're doing a fair pick, I'd say Ocarina of Time. Let me see. I mean, we'll see what I think of Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's really good. But I'm only in chapter 2, so I barely scratched the surface. I love Bloodborne, but I don't know if Bloodborne's top 3 for me. I think Bloodborne might be top 5 though. I'd say Resident Evil 4 is definitely up there. Resident Evil 4 and Ocarina of Time. Yeah. I think Resident Evil 4 is too low here. Man, Witcher 3 is a good game, but I don't know if I'd put it top 5. It's top 10. Top 5 though. But then it's like, what do you put there? Like, I'd have to think about it, you know? I'd have to really consider it, and because I have a feeling that there'd be a game that I'd be like, oh, I forgot about that, you know? I forgot about that one. I don't know. Yeah, no Oblivion is disqualifying. No Elder Scrolls Oblivion. But you got Skyrim at 12. You want to know a secret, guys? I don't even like Oblivion that much. But I recognize that it is like the Elder Scrolls game. And did I even have it on the list? Come on. They gotta do better. They gotta do better over there at Dexerto. Hey, you guys remember when Dexerto tweeted out? They tweeted this out. I couldn't believe it. They were like, here's a list of all the YouTubers that appear in the film Five Nights at Freddy's. And then they listed all the YouTubers that appear except me. They were like Corey X Kenshin, Matt Pat, 8-Bit Ryan, Dawko, and Razbowski. They kept going on and on. And they literally listed everybody except me. And they were like, here's all the YouTubers. Here's the comprehensive list. So yeah, what do they know about anything? Exactly.